message of my performances, don't be scared of yourself. Get out there and be vulnerable to experience life. If you stay in with your vulnerability and you keep it inside, it's like keeping in your own fart. It's just painful. Don't keep your heart inside. Express yourself. Show the world your soul, your shining light. This is the moment. We all fart. Don't be scared of your own fart. Live in the now, because you're awesome. And you don't need me to tell you that. You already know. Let the heart rip. Growing up in New Jersey, it was, we pretty normal family. I have my mother and father, and we get along pretty well.
I was a stay-at-home mom until I went back to work, and it was fun. It was different than being in the city, because I grew up in New York.
I was the class clown. I was a goof. When I was young, I did want to be social, and I wanted to connect to people. I was really shy. Somebody said, I'll give you a quarter if you start flexing in front of those girls or whatever. Of course I wanted to do it, and it was just an excuse to someone to give me money. So I started to flex in front of these girls, and then all of a sudden everybody on the bleachers was watching me. It was a big moment because it became like a show. It was like a breaking boundary moment, that's why it was so cool. I just said there was soccer and football, and I said, you know what, I want to try something new. I'd do football. And my mother said, you're going to get injured. You shouldn't do that. Don't do it. It's a terrible sport. I should have listened to my mother. I thought I could tackle people because I thought it was fun, but it ended up not being fun because I got hit real hard and I blacked out for a second. I didn't realize I probably did some damage to my head. I went into a guy really hard and it pushed my lower back. I already was born with a spondylosis, but I didn't have any symptoms from it. But now because I got tackled in a bad way, it probably triggered a disc bulge or something, a herniated disc. Sometimes you have this disorder and you don't have to identify with your disorder and you can still be a popular person. But maybe I identified with it, and I identified with people treating me in a way like they thought I was slower or they were making fun of me. I mean, I was put in special ed and they gave me some kind of disorder like central auditory processing disorder. And I don't know, because that affected my ability to talk to people in a way.
In his second year, I guess it was his third year, because he was 1 year in Emerson, and then he was at Ithaca, and then I think the second year he dropped out, and then he came home, and he wasn't in a good place then.
It was in San Francisco. I was living there for 8 months because I needed to escape New Jersey. I put on a white dress and I would buck like a chicken. I would lay plastic eggs. I would hold them inside the dress and I would drop them. And I would run around in the college campus and and make people laugh, and it felt good.
I don't know, I had mixed feelings about it because before that he was filming, and doing some very interesting projects, and successful at it. And then he kind of, gradually at first, and then more so later on, got into the street performing and performing in clubs at night. But he explained to me, that the filming, as good as he was becoming at it, was very intense when he got to the editing session. I mean, he closed up and lose contact with people.
So I kind of stopped making films and videos. I can't look in front of that radioactive screen too. It just saps the lifeblood out of you. That's why I like performance. At least you get energy from the audience. Down to your deepest essence. Everybody's vulnerable. We're all sensitive, scared, nervous, vulnerable. I see the world as very dirty, painful. A lot of people look at my eyes and they see sad eyes. All the suffering that you cause on yourself, and everybody's pushing bad energy on people, but this part of it, I love it too.
And he said getting out there got him to be with people more, and he was enjoying that much more.
I had to do it. I was aching to get that audience or make people laugh. I fulfilled a spiritual need within me. Like I tell my mother and my father, I just made it, I gave a positive message internationally to the entire world. I did something that was important, and my parents are like, well, when are you gonna be more successful so you don't have to worry about money all the time, or make a consistent living?
I looked at one of his papers somewhere along the line, and it, I could see this was a life thing for him. He needed to be doing this.
But I didn't pursue it professionally until I was 25, and then that's when people called me, oh, now you're a performance artist.
I think, when I tell people Matthew Street performs and they say, what? What's that? I say, well, you see in New York, you see people doing it all the time. When I change it to performance art, so that's what we say now.
I would never have called it performance art, because I was like, that's like ballerina. That's like, it's like stuff that I wouldn't do. Eventually, I started to understand performance art, and it's actually a very general topic. The stuff that art people do, like there's this, it could be anything. I mean, people do this performance art where they're ripping paper and then they pour shampoo all over their head, or slime, and they pick their nose and rub it against their body, and that could be called performance art. The more art. My thing, as I call it, fart art, Fart art. A message from her. I'm not gonna even answer it.
when we see him out in Union Square or things, I mean, he'll get other people, you know. I mean, they just, you know, people are reluctant to dive into the middle because he wants them to come and dance with him and perform with him. But he starts to draw them in, you know. And there's always a lot of people, you know, people walk by, some of them stop for a few seconds, some of them linger there, you know, and always seems to be, you know, a good crowd walking by. He wound up on a Hallmark card.
Oh yeah, I saw on Facebook somebody wrote, "Hey, Deborah, is that your brother Matthew on a Hallmark card?" And I looked at the card and I said, "Is this for real?" I ran right out to CVS and I bought about 5 of them.
There's this poster that was in stores all over the country.
You know, sometimes I want to be that happy, positive person, and sometimes I get to be that person. But lately I've been in this, like that type of person.
He has an artist's temperament. When things are going well, he's ecstatic and you know, can't stop going on about it. But when things are not going right, he you know, he gets moody and he can lose his temper.
And I actually find I don't want to be social now. I find people they irritate me. I find I get annoyed by people. I don't mean to, but I do.
This depression isn't like the one that's, you know, back when he was in college. This is part physical things that are going on with him right now.
Hey, this is what it's like. To be at a hospital.
We not stopping him. He's seeking out his own help and he's trying to help himself.
When I get depressed or in my head, in this diseased head state, I say, "Oh, I wish I was dead already. I wish I was dead." It's easy to laugh at it now because I'm not in that state. But, you know, it's actually more, I don't feel so bad about saying, "Oh, I want to die already," because it's actually more typical to a lot of people. I still like performing though because it gives me something to do. I still like making people laugh. But it's like I started getting more irritable around, like, I'm 37 now, and I started getting irritable around 34, 35. So these last 3 or 4 years, I've been a little more going towards this. Just like you get older, you get more irritable. Anything you love becomes stressful. Right now, I think I'm receiving the side effect of my insanity, of just being a one-track minded person. I just have to learn how to balance my life so I can really, really do something. I hope I get a second chance. I will get a second chance. Sorry.
This! I remember this! This is an adventure! This is the memory!
advice do you have for younger generations?
Younger generations? Live in the moment. Don't get old. Don't judge people. Because you can't be free if you judge people. Love now. Create. Inspire.
Please listen carefully.